And
Jill.
I'd like to remind everyone that the meeting is going to be recorded by Karen. And should you decide to participate, we welcome participation for sure. But if you do, you get to watch yourself on YouTube TV, or the YouTube channel, I should say, the Culver YouTube channel, where this meeting will be available for reviewing. Okay, so with that, we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
You want me to do roll call?
Would you please do roll call? That's right, that usually comes before the pledge, doesn't it?
It doesn't matter.
I'll get there.
Those that are present stood for the pledge, so. Karen Schumann.
Here. Sarah Jones.
Sarah Jones.
Present.
Marty Oosterbaum.
Here.
Erica
Erica.
James.
Here.
Sally Ricciardi here.
Tony Mayfield.
Tony Mayfield
is
is
not
not
here.
present for the
All
meeting.
right. So let's, that leads us to the new members organization of the commission. We have a new member and a new audience member walking in. Hello, Kevin. I'd like everyone to welcome Erica James to the Culver Redevelopment Commission. Erica, thank you very much for agreeing to share your time and talent with us. We look forward to working with you on the team here. And so this is Sarah Jones' second meeting with us. So another relative newcomer. I thought maybe we'd just spend a minute asking them to kind of introduce themselves to Culver in 100 words or less, maybe. I don't know. You want to go first, Erica, please?
Sure. Erica James, I'm the principal at the elementary school. I have been a resident of Culver since 2016. And that was about the same time my second son was born. So I've got two boys, they're 6 and 8, that go to the community schools. Excited to be here. Excited to share what I've got with Culver.
Originally a Wisconsinite.
I am from the Milwaukee area.
Great to have you living in Culver.
Yeah. It's warmer here.
It is, yeah, I moved south for the weather.
Yeah. Sarah?
Sarah Jones, moved here full-time just over a year ago. I've been coming here for 8+ years as a summer resident. Worked here in the summers in the beach, in the park, and have a family business here building homes in the area. So excited to be a part of this and glad to be part of this community.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so organization, we have been operating with an interim secretary for this commission since the first of the year. Thank you, Sally Ricciardi, for doing that for us. Now it is time to establish a full-time, actual formal secretary for the commission. So I am opening the floor to nominations for that officer role.
Yeah, I know.
It's between, he's president, I'm vice president. It's between you two.
Should have rock, paper, scissors before.
We can do that.
Without,
Either way, so.
I would genuinely love to just observe for a little while, if that's okay.
Okay. You'll help me out.
I'll nominate Sarah Jones. You can second.
I'm second.
all right, so Sarah Jones has been nominated by Sally Ricciardi for the office of Secretary of the Culver Redevelopment Commission. It has been seconded by Erica James, and so I'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, Sarah.
I'm taking
Thank
notes
you.
now.
Yep, you're now officially on the job. Okay. So Sally, you want to lead us through the minutes discussion then?
Well,
You published
I
them.
published the minutes, and Sarah was kind enough to point out the same misspelling that or typo that was on section 8. And so I will send a corrected copy to Karen so that she has that.
Okay,
Other than that,
all right. Was there any thoughts from Karen or Erica on those minutes? Then, as amended or to be amended, why don't we go ahead
Yeah.
and take a vote on approving them? I'll take a motion on that.
I move that we accept the minutes as corrected with the one typo.
And I'll second that. And so, all in favor of approving the March minutes as to be amended by Sally, please say aye.
I,
And any opposed? All right. Karen, financial report, any discussion around that?
What it is, and I did submit the tip.
do we need to vote to have that?
If you want to go ahead and have a vote that it was okay to submit, that's fine. And then it's just you that y'all have to.
That's the year-end TIF
The tip management.
management
Is the
report.
official
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept the TIF management report that Karen submitted on the 15th.
And I'll second that as well. And thank Karen for her efforts in putting that together. It was a lot of work. It was really well done. So thank you, Karen. All in favor of approving the TIF management report submitted April 15th? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
There's legislation that's in the House and Senate that will affect how you can spend, may possibly affect how you can spend money going forward. And that you are going to have a plan how you spend the money and you won't be able to, so you have to make that plan. I'm not sure when it goes until all the details are being worked out, but you will have to have a plan for this year, set this year or next year,
For
and
next
not
year.
be able to deviate from that. So it's going to take some planning and thought on your part at some point when they will know in 2 weeks. We'll have to set an end on the 29th. So just kind of keeping an eye on that legislation as it moves through. I believe right now it's in a conference committee, so you have two senators, 2 representatives discussing and trying to come up with some amenable language for that, and then it will go back. So just to make you aware that redevelopment may get a little more difficult.
Which bill number is that?
I can get it to you. I don't know it off the top of my head.
Two? Or just one?
You know,
I think there was.
it's been the week. I'm on the legislative committee for AIM, and we had a meeting on Friday and watched it, and it's gone now. So
Okay.
it will give you that.
Was there anything about formal school board
I believe
representation on the commission? Are they still doing that?
They were
too?
talking about that, but I
It's
don't know
gone
that
back
they,
and forth, and I don't know that it made. So they kind of like they hit at the beginning of session. It's everybody's ideas all kind of thrown.
Yeah,
That throw the same thing in to see if it'll stick or not.
Yeah.
I don't know that one made it out. There's also language on a residential TIF. I
Right.
think that was where the school board was possibly going to come in, where the school board would have to approve that TIF, and I'm not sure where it is. I don't feel like the language may have come on the school board, and there's a couple of areas that have been having difficulty. Not that we have,
Mhm.
we don't have difficulty with our school board. There are some areas that do have to.
Right, right. Yep.
I will.
Yeah.
Do that.
So I may be sorry. I said this. maybe we shouldn't record it, but I actually like the idea of a plan for us. That when you look back at where this organization has been over the last, say, 7 years, right, since 2014, and it has done some amazing things. When you look at all of the investments that have been fueled by the decisions to form the original TIF 1 and TIF 2. And we're kind of maxed from a capacity standpoint at this point, you know, in that spending commitments. But that will change as some of these bonds get paid off in the next couple of years, and there'll be some additional capacity generated. And it's not too early to think about how to utilize that capacity, and particularly in view of the Culver Crossroads work and the identification, you know, the update of the comprehensive plan and the establishment of the goals and strategies behind that. It's kind of a natural thing for us to need to do, is to look at those closely and figure out where we think we can best fit in and how we can. I mean, we've got these tools. Let's use them as best and as responsibly as we can to help that plan, you know, come to life.
I think that is all well and good. I think that the concern is that if there were, you don't always know what projects are going to turn out.
That's
Right.
That's
After
the,
the first of the year.
yeah,
You
Right.
don't have that crystal ball. So if you're bound by this spending plan and you cannot deviate from it, that's going to hamper some of the projects that you can get.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the opposition is coming
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
on
Right.
that and the concern.
So how
So-
creatively can we put a
Yeah,
plan
it's
together,
gonna
right?
take-
You know,
Yeah.
how broadly can we
There are
state some things?
having some sort of mechanism. I mean, you know, the schools and the town, we have to do our budgets, you know, basically a year in advance. So we're planning in July, August for January for the following year. But there is, and you don't always know what's going to come either, as we've seen this year.
you can ask for
But you
additional,
can do an additional appropriation. So there's a mechanism to be able to change that plan. And I think they're trying to see if they can include some sort of mechanism to that.
Yeah.
Or an additional appropriation process.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
something
great.
similar
Yeah.
to
I
that.
would say probably 60 to 80% of the smaller grants that CRC is matched as a 20% match. We didn't even know were available
Right.
before the first of that year. And so that would cut out probably our matching a large number of grants.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless the spending plan can include a grant category, right?
Yeah,
And you put in this. To be guidance. So I hope I don't sound like I'm speaking. out of
Right.
turn.
No,
I'm
no.
trying to also be,
Yeah.
but what
Yeah.
I,
You're listening in on this stuff. So
you know, hopefully there is a mechanism that will allow you to make changes with those spending plans. And hopefully there will be some thought put into how they're expecting redevelopment commissions to basically outline their spending plans.
mhm.
Is it going to be like a budget like the town, like cities and towns and schools have to do? Is it going to be a little more like, well, we're going to put this much money into this bucket and this much money into here, and we'll do, you know, we'll set aside $100,000 for facade grants, and then we'll see what happens. You know, I don't know. I mean, I think this commission has come a long way with, you know, knowing, being more, I guess, transparent. Not that they weren't previously, because I want to be careful with that as well, but having this, as more or less kind of a spending plan.
Yeah.
Already with the dashboard to say, you know, you guys can commit to something, I can plug in the numbers and give you that report back, and immediately you know kind of where we're going to be at the end of the year.
Right.
Without any major hiccups. So I think we've taken some steps to make that spending plan a little bit easier. It's still, you know, there's still that concern in that it's going to possibly bind you in
Mhm.
the future
Yeah.
not to be able to participate in some potentially beneficial projects to the town.
Yeah.
Especially when we're looking at, you know, like economic development, how do we attract businesses, how do we attract
Yep.
people? And we did
Yep.
that through the candidates night the other night, that was a lot of the focus, there's, you know, businesses to town. And that's what I think.
Yep.
you know, for a lot of these businesses, the CRC has been instrumental in providing facade grants and providing business grants during COVID and assisting.
And thanks, Karen.
Well, and one thing I do want to point out, I mean, this is probably the lowest, having accepted paying for the surf internet going in Culver. That's taken the largest bite out of our budget since I've been on the commission. But I think it was one that's definitely needed in town. And, you know, it'll take a year to build that back up. But, you know, at the same time, we've got a couple bonds that are almost paid off, one in 24 and one in 26, I believe, when they're paid off. So,
Yep.
You know, that'll free up more money
Well,
in those areas.
I think it, when you talk about transparency, I think there's a really good story that this commission can tell about its work over the last 7 years. And because I have looked, you know, I've looked, what have we spent our money on, you know, and it's a really impressive list. I think it ought to be kind of put together so that so people understand the work that we're doing a little bit better and can help us focus on where we want to go from here.
Yeah.
So I did take a look at the March numbers that you put together, Karen, and they look just fine. So thank you for that as well. Let's look at the approval of the claims.
So they are about halfway.
I was surprised they didn't ask, you know, because it said when they started, they could ask for the first payment. Which kind of amazed me they hadn't asked for it already.
And I think things have been going. Had a couple of hiccups, but in nature so far.
Yeah.
Okay. Some visitor center ads and some invoices from Troyer make up the difference. But yeah, hard to miss that $250,000 broadband payment. And
I think that's the most we've ever spent in any one month.
biggest check we've ever cut. I don't know.
In a 1 month period, not in a year. It was like 1 month.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, so has everyone had a chance to look at the claims? Any questions for Karen? All right, so I'll entertain motions to approve claims.
Make a motion, we approve the claims for March. Or is that for April?
It's March 30th through
Yeah.
April 17th. Okay, Sally Ricciardi moves and Sarah Jones seconds that we approve the Culver Redevelopment Commission claims for the period March 30th, 2023 to April 17th, 2023 is submitted by Karen. All in favor of that, say aye, please.
Aye.
And any opposed? All right, the claims are approved unanimously. So let's move on to new business. There's none on the agenda that I'm aware of. Does anybody have new business? Right.
I don't have any.
All right, we'll get the member input in a minute, but we have no town manager to make a town manager report.
I did for you.
Oh, I don't feel like the playground or the park is going along fairly smoothly. They're moving right along now that it warmed up.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. If are they doing anything on Jefferson Street?
Those are just, they're.
Waiting.
The bills that we have are very minimal and they're, I think, the Lake Max Phase 3 is still working on environmental and the Jefferson Trail is still working on, and
Okay.
they've got to be getting close to switching over.
Yeah.
But if there are any questions that come up, feel free to contact me, and then I can kind of point you in the right direction or find an answer for you.
Good. When does broadband get the SURF get the second installment? Is it at the end
I
or?
believe
Okay,
they can invoice us when they're 3/4 of the way full, and then
okay,
Let me check real
I
quick.
think sometime late summer, early fall. I think they had two drills going for a while, and just couldn't keep up with them.
wow,
Benefits and drawbacks.
yeah.
The hut constructed it.
I believe it's almost done. It should be almost done. I think May was when they were gonna that online.
Is it?
I think that's last conversation I remember having, so. Again, I can double check on all of that and see.
Great. Thank
It
you.
does mention a third payment due after 50% of the work is completed and the balance after the completion of construction.
Okay. So it'd be a total of
They
4.
could ask for another 125,000 when they're halfway through or better, and then ask for the rest on completion. Or they could just wait, depends on how they feel like billing, I guess.
Public input. Nothing, Kevin? We're getting let off easy. All right. Member input. Let's start.
Anything, anybody online?
No, it's not.
Oh, I'm sorry. Popularity is at an all-time level. All right, member input. Let's start at your end, Karen. Sarah, anything? Erica?
Nope.
Sally?
I don't have anything.
I'm gonna throw something out here. There's been several questions that have come up in my recent conversations about the TIFs and how they work, and there's been some misconceptions. And even at the candidate night, they came up a couple of times. The question of the TIFs came up a couple of times. I'm not sure I agreed with the characterization all the time, but they're clearly a topic of interest, and and we're looking at potentially doing another one, as you know. I'm wondering if it makes some sense to find a communication piece, something that we can work on together, maybe for public consumption, that, says, here's kind of what these are and what they do and what they've done.
I know that, every year we have presentation on tips.
That
And
Baker Tilly
I
is.
think there's usually 2 more people in the room
Yeah,
than what we presently have, so.
yeah. And that's what,
It's kind of dry at times, but
I think it's more that's a general conversation that Banker Utility kind of has on tips. I
Yeah.
think they're wanting more specifics.
yeah,
Like, how do we make the decision to pick one or pick two, and how to?
Yeah.
And how does it impact? I know that question of how did it impact schools. And
Yeah.
It is a negative connotation typically for schools. Tips are,
yeah.
depending on the community and the assessed value, and I've answered those questions often.
Right.
Hopefully, I'm not the one creating confusion in people, but
No, I don't.
probably
no,
not.
No. In fact, no, it's
that's why I didn't go to the candidate, because I didn't want to be drilled with questions. And I'm not a in-town resident.
well, so maybe some sort of fact sheet, start to put together some sort of communication piece that that maybe might be useful to people in discussing this, and useful for us in discussing it.
I think it falls in line with that.
Yeah.
So that it is more transparent.
Okay,
And so they're kind of hand in hand.
okay. Well, I might take a whack at it and,
Great idea.
and, circulate it amongst this group here, to get it, get all my errors fixed, and then we'll have to get some counsel on what can be released and what, we,
Well, that TIF report that you just done is public knowledge. It will be, I mean, like that, all that.
Right.
documentation
You can share. Yeah.
right,
And just if it's helpful, when, not sure if you were with me, Marty, or, yeah, but we had Heidi Ansbach did make a presentation. I did record that, and that's on the YouTube
Yeah.
site. So if you need to go back for any sort of, just clarification.
oh, sure,
It's
yeah,
a pretty basic, like, this is the TIF, this is how. it
Right,
works, this is what
yeah,
we
right.
This is how it impacts the overlapping taxing units. So you can go to that and reference it too
right,
in your communication.
yeah, okay,
I
good,
think there've been a couple of things that have changed with tips since then, but predominantly they've stayed the same.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not thinking so much an educational piece, more a frequently asked questions and response, yeah,
Yeah.
an FAQ, specific to Culver.
Well, and it might be a good time to I believe you're supposed to make a report to the council at some point of what your activities are. So maybe you could combine once that's
Oh,
done. you
perfect.
could present it to the council and say, this is what we've been doing, this is what's going on. The plan.
Okay, great idea, thank you. Any other thoughts around that?
Often if that presentation is done.
Yeah.
And you're also supposed to have a meeting with the overall is what Sally responded.
Right.
referred to.
We just
Yeah.
did that, right?
It needs to be done annually. I think we did it maybe November.
Yeah, it was.
And
at the end of the
hopefully
year.
we can get into a habit of doing it a little bit earlier. Like
Yeah.
June.
Okay,
I know dates have moved around.
Yeah.
The state has moved. Sometimes it pops up on our calendar and it's like, oh. requirements, but
right,
it's a good-
okay. Anything else from anyone? Going once, twice, three times. All right, I'm gonna entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make
Thanks.
a motion, we adjourn and some claims. Claims.
Is there a second? Thanks, Erica. Motion to adjourn by Sally Shardy and seconded by Erica James. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.